Speaking of Amari Cooper, he goes to the Bills, and since he got there, Keon Coleman, Jay, has been phenomenal for this team. Their first pick of the draft, not a first-round pick because they traded out, but in Week 8, 7 targets, he gets 70 yards and a touchdown, and Keon Coleman just brings a physical presence to this offense under Josh Allen. He's available in 58%, 59% of leagues. They got the Dolphins on deck, pretty good matchup against the Colts after that. Maybe a guy that it's not a fluke what he's done now recently.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a mainstay in this offense where just the fact that he's playing so many snaps, he played 63 out of 76 snaps, and yes, Amari Cooper is going to play more than 50% of the snaps like he did this past week, but I think probably the way this offense is going to align most of the time is that the guys on the outside will be Coleman and Cooper, and then Shaquille will be the slot guy, and the people who are to take hits are, players like Mac Hollins who get marginalized. So I think Coleman is not going to produce the way that he did last week as Cooper's role increases, but he is a rookie. He's going to get better as the season goes on. I think Josh Allen is maybe the quarterback in the league, Connor, who requires the biggest learning curve in terms of what Allen likes, how Allen creates out of structure, and he seems to have that rapport with Keon Coleman. Also, Josh Allen wants to throw it deep. Right. That's what he wants to do, and he wasn't really able to do that as much last season, but Coleman is a weapon down the field because of his contested catchability.
Yeah, he is. Matthew, things have been trending the right way for Keon Coleman. The only thing that feels a little convoluted, what will this target share look like when Amari Cooper is fully up to speed? And we saw Dalton Kincaid heavily involved last week as well.
By the way, and very quietly, Khalil Shakir is earning a bunch of targets as well. Credit the Bills' offense. They're finally starting to really click, and they've got a true identity here as well. I think what's exciting about Keon Coleman, right, who had, we know about the deep threat, right, but each of the last 2 games, he's gotten three end zone targets, 22% target share at least in both games, and honestly, I don't have a stat for you. But the touchdown that he made, where it was basically like this one-handed thing where he caught it he kind of David Tyree'd it on top of his helmet there for a second. That's just okay. That's just, physical gifts that just not everyone on the planet has. And so those were all impressive. Connor, I know he wasn't your favorite prospect coming out of college, but I think you can talk to about, hey, we're entering week 9. And how many times have we seen this over the last couple of years where rookie wide receivers, finally find their footing and they're big factors down the stretch? And maybe that could be the case with Keon Coleman.
Yeah, it can be. I love this ceiling, but you're absolutely right. There were big concerns. He couldn't separate in college. The production wasn't consistent. And to be fair, that reflected where he went in the NFL. He didn't go in the first round. He was a second-round pick that was kind of viewed as his developmental guy. But he is somebody with immense ball skills, excellent ball skills, to the point of almost being an enigma because you wonder, does that translate to the NFL level? For a lot of guys, it's a tough road when you play that way. But the good thing about Keon Coleman is he's also been good with the ball in his hands where he's running through tacklers, that they're going to throw him a couple screens here or there, or easy throws as well, and that really helps his fantasy production. So Keon Coleman went to a top 3 landing spot for him, and credit to him because he's capitalizing on it and looking like the player that some people really hoped he could be even earlier than they thought.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.